let's say I'm stellar or whomever you're dating is stellar, and all the women before him he treated with exceptional privileges. Then he get to you. Now all of a sudden he's incapable of doing the same thing. You have to struggle with him. Y'all wouldn't sign up for that. And that's essentially the same thing that we're saying. You want to give us secondhand crap, spam like, goodies, and then try to make it seem like that on the equality of your sexual exchange is the same. It's not ever going to be the same.
Can you lose value with God, and are you losing value in society with man? In society, worldviews, values with men, yes. Women can lose value. Your past is not forgiven. They don't look past those things. But literally over and over and over and over and over again in the Bible, God forgave his people. The topic we were focusing on was B. Simone's relationship and walk with God, not her relationship with a man.
Can I also add that, so I don't want to judge B. Simone, but if everybody remembers, her and Megan had a breakup, right? And Megan left because she went with God. And B. Simone said she was going to keep on her ratchet. And yeah, God was still going to be her homie, cool, big him up and everything, but she wasn't going to go wholeheartedly on the same journey that her best friend went. Thus, we're here, right? And I do think there is something to say about a lot of celebrities. Like, there's a number of celebrities who will tell you, like, life goes one or two ways after you do a Christian movie. Like, either you got to full-fledged get into that demonic stuff and go up, or you got to let it go and go with God. It's like his one last chance, right? Like, hey, you could make this decision. So for her, I'm just saying, I kind of seen her best friend go one way, her go the other way. And, I just thank God he gives all of us a lot of chances, because a lot of us have messed up in different ways, whether you believe in God or not. Like, you know what I mean? Don't wild out. Now, I do appreciate the fact that she is public about her journey, because there's a lot of people who just fade off into the background and be like, oh, I did it for my mental health, and not keep it real. Like, they messed up. They started talking crazy. They backstabbed their best friend. They just come back rebranded all holier than thou. And you be like, wait, what? Oh, we ain't seen you in 3 years. Hoping that the world forgets that they just took a deep L. So, like, I respect it that she's doing all of this in public.
Outside anybody that's trying to give God the leftovers of their life. Like, why do you want to give him the leftovers? It was cool when once things go to shit, like, it's crazy. Like, if you love God so much, why do you wait until, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like when men say we don't want women giving up the leftovers after you've been a hoe in your whole 20s. You know what I'm saying? A business hoe in your 30s. Now you want to find a good nigga in your 40s. Why do you think we deserve the leftovers? Now look at the same thing they're doing to God. She's giving him leftover the leftovers. Dick too. What?
You have leftover dick too.
No, we don't. Nothing about us is the same, and we can't.
What I'm saying, I'm making
anything about a man is left over when he has a sex action.
So it's like basically a person can't be strung out on drugs and then get their life together, and now they're changed. Like, you're making it seem like she can't, or a person can't be a hoe at some point. Whatever whatever they do, and then now no longer they're a hoe, and now maybe they're a wife. Like, why is that leftovers? Because you've been given.
Because you used to be a hoe. It's like you don't want a car that's been wrecked before. It's the same thing.
And we don't want the guy who's been sticking his dick in everybody also before too.
Women who think that men have the same, or men and women are equal sexually, only ones.
We're not equal.
Well, the only women who think about that are women who think that we are. You said something about someone being strung out on drugs. That's completely different. I would equate someone who was an alcoholic.
Jay, religiously, right? You're correct, because y'all all go to hell for sticking your dick in people you're not married to. I mean, if you want to talk about this on a religious level, right?
It is correct.
We all going to end up in hell for sin. If you believe in Jesus, if Jesus is the way, if you believe in the crown, whatever. It's like all your sins going to end you up, whether you're a man or a woman, in the same place. I'll give you that. Socially, though, right? David Banner has been obvious about his journey of, not settling down until he wants to. And I'm sure he's been sticking it where the sun don't shine. And nobody looks at him negatively. Whoa. Well, do the sun shine there? Did he stick it? I'm just saying. He was sticking it where the sun don't shine. And now that he's ready to settle down, and people are like, he's 50. a lot of women are like, well, at least he didn't create all these bastard kids everywhere, and he didn't lie to nobody, and yeah, now he ready to settle down. They don't look at it as a negative.
You know
They
what?
respect.
You know what's so wild? One, I don't like people who like God got a lot of bad representatives. I'll say that, tons of them. But what's so interesting when I'm listening to the women specifically is that you guys seem to generally have this redemption like mindset. So interesting to me, because the same way what I heard Willie say was God don't want your leftovers, right? So let's frame it like this. Let's say I'm Stellar, or whomever you're dating is Stellar, and all the women before him he treated with exceptional privileges. Then he get to you. Now all of a sudden he's incapable of doing the same thing. You have to struggle with him. Y'all wouldn't sign up for that. And that's essentially the same thing that we're saying. You want to give us secondhand crap, spam like, goodies, and then try to make it seem like that on the equality of sexual exchange. It's the same. It's not ever going to be the same. Y'all don't want to lose. We get it. But for some odd reason, as men, we're supposed to take it. And I think that's at least that's what I heard him say, that if you're really going to walk this life, be Simone, I don't know her personally, so whatever. I just know that people like her. It's damaging for folks that are immature in their faith walk. What I don't like how she framed her story was, it was my finances, now I need God. But she did her finances wrong. God didn't do that. That's the issue with me. It's like, so you have bad managing skills with your finances. Now all of a sudden you need Jehovah to go ahead and resurrect you on that. Where was that guidance throughout the process of gaining said wealth? Because wisdom comes with walking if you really want to talk that faith talk. But now my finances, shut up, yo. Like, she's a joke, but that's y'all girl. That's cool. I personally take it like a pause with, men deserve to have your best as well. I think that's what Willie was saying. But for some odd reason, we don't. And I think that's what Kevin Samuel said a moment ago. It's almost like they don't really have a high esteem of brothers. You can tell.
Yeah, I was saying God should have your best, and I use men also being worthy of it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It seems like that's not the mindset of the general masses when we talk about the women. That they don't seem to have that mindset. It's like, well, I used to be bad, but I'm good now. Okay, you used to be bad. Congratulations, sweetie. But you can't come here. Like, I got standards too. I got boundaries too.
I agree with that part. I just I think what I was more referring to was when he said that, like, now she wants to walk this walk, no matter what, whoever. I keep my opinion to her, what it is. I don't agree with some of the things, but I think that if a person is coming to a place of redemption and they feel like they have nowhere else to go and God is that place for them, then I don't think that there should be stones thrown at them. You know what I mean?
all right. So, Jamie, I present you with a quick question then, right? Because I think the disconnect is women don't feel like they lose any perceived value as far as the men are concerned, or shouldn't, right? So I'll ask you this. If you found out that, let's say, a man you're pursuing, right? But then you find out that
I agree
he's
with that
popping in
statement,
for
bro.
the,
But go ahead.
you said you agree with that?
I agree.
That
Women lose value. I agree with that statement.
You
But
do?
go ahead. You can ask the question. Mhm.
It didn't sound like that just now, but okay.
I was only solely speaking off of her not feeling like not being worthy enough to have God at the forefront. That's all I was referring to.
I think there's a disconnect here because we're talking about two different things. We're either talking about God, like, can you lose value with God, and are you losing value in society with man? In society, worldviews, values with man, yes. Women can lose value. Your past is not forgiven. They don't look past those things. But literally over and over and over and over and over again in the Bible, God forgave his people. He pulled them out of Egypt. They messed up again. They had to spend 40 years in the wilderness. They messed up again. He forgave them again. They messed up again. He forgave them again. They messed up. It is human nature to fall short of God's praise. That's the whole thing. So it depends on the conversation that we're having here.
Yeah.
Should we only be going to God when we fall? No, of course not. God deserves so much more from us. But is the reality that most of us, not just women, not just men, but all of us go to God, especially when we're low? Yes. That's when we go. And at that time, God is always going to open his arms to you if you're coming with a pure heart and you're actually seeking him. Now, whether or not she's coming with a pure heart and truly seeking him, we don't know that for sure, right? We would have to continue to watch her journey. Now, whether or not people of this earth decide to bring her back in and forgive the things that she does, that's up to you guys. Most people probably won't. But those are two separate conversations. And I feel like we're trying to merge them and they're not mergeable. We're talking about worldly things that don't equate to godly things. They're two separate conversations.
What's interesting about what you said, Ty, this is again, I'm listening and processing at the same time. Typically, the provide and protect come from a biblical context. And generally, that's what women try to frame men in. So if we're not going to tie them together, then we should probably abolish that terminology and go ahead and treat people on a human level and figure out what he's willing to do for you, what you're willing to do for him, and not take something that comes straight out the Bible like provide and protect, because that's not a worldly concept. That's a biblical concept.
Damn it, true.
What are you talking about, though? When was I talking about?
How does that even relate?
Right. What are we talking about? I was saying that
True went red pill on y'all.
The topic we were focusing on was B. Simone's relationship and walk with God. Not her relationship with a man, not whether or not man provide and protect, not a specific thing. It was whether or not she should go to God at her lowest and whether or not we feel that's acceptable. Then Willie brought up a comparison of God not wanting the least of you or once you fall, and that man also don't want the least of you. I agree. Men do not want you after you've been a hoe for all this time and you've messed up. They're not forgetful. They're forgiving, right? But God is. What you're talking about is something totally different. You're merging it and trying to bring it back to a conversation of man versus women. Once again, making it worldly. I'm talking about God, the Bible. If you read the Bible and scripture, God constantly forgives his people, constantly opens his arms, constantly brings you in regardless of your past, regardless of what you've done, as long as you come to him humbly and wanting that from him. Man will not. People will not. Your family will not. Your man will not. Your kids will not. God will.
I believe I'm tracking what you said. You tried to separate them and you said they don't belong in the same vein. And I said, if that is the case, tying it back, don't take biblical terminology and mesh it in worldly concepts when we're doing something like trying to date and get to know each other, because a lot of women do that. To provide and protect, to be the man's job, is a biblical terminology lifestyle that comes from the Bible. That's all I was saying. So I didn't take it so far off. You made it seem like I went to another planet.
You did, because we were.
So what his point is that